government collecting taxes. I used to take advantage of one of the perks of this profession, skimming a little off the top for personal use. Listening to Jesus, I have come to realize that I have committed a sin against my neighbors. I took advantage of those people. I cheated them. I became wealthy by stealing their hard-earned wages and goods. I hoarded earthly treasures instead of seeking eternal ones. My heart has changed because of Jesus. I even threw a big feast in my home and invited others who worked in that corrupt organization to meet him, and perhaps be changed as well. But now that he speaks of a traitor among us, will the others suspect me, a known publican, a sinner? Lord, is it I?
Before Jesus called, I was a member of the Zealots. We believed in God, and that God alone ruled over this holy nation of Israel. We paid neither homage nor taxes to any Roman governors. While it goes against my nature, Jesus teaches that God ordains all powers and governments to rule over this holy nation of Israel. And we must give them their due and treat them with respect. Since following the Christ, I have tried to channel my zeal into teaching others about Jesus Christ, God's Son, and reaching out to people for his kingdom. But is there a spy amongst us? A Roman, perhaps? How could a follower of the Christ question his authority? He is our King. He is God. He is more powerful than any government. Could I have reverted to my old ways? Could I, Simon, somehow betray my King? Jesus, is it I?
Simon, welcome. Are you here, Simon? Good to see you.
I'm known as Bartholomew to some, Nathaniel to others. I've been a diligent student of the scriptures and a disciple of John the Baptizer. My friend Philip told me about this Jesus of Nazareth, saying he was the one about who the prophets had written. At first, I was skeptical. Jesus of Nazareth? Filthy, immoral place? Can anything good come out of Nazareth? But John said Jesus was the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. Then I met Jesus. He seemed to know me already, to know my innermost thoughts. Although I have always been a devout man, I realized Jesus was offering something more intimate, more personal in my religion ever offered me before. For over 1,000 years, we have been celebrating the Feast of Passover, remembering the bitter slavery in Egypt with the bitter herbs, remembering the 10 plagues with the 10 drops from the goblet, remembering how the blood of the sacrificed lamb caused the angel of death to pass over the Israelites and spare their firstborn, remembering how God set his people free. What a wonderful story. How they fled with no time to cook leavened bread. They baked unleavened bread in the warmth of the sun. Now Jesus, he breaks this unleavened bread and says, "This is my body." He shares the cup and says, "This is my blood. Do this in remembrance of me." I don't understand. What could make me betray my friend? Lord, is it I?
My name is Philip. Jesus came to me one day and said simply, "Follow me." I spent the entire day with him, and I was convinced. This is truly the promised one. It has taken some time for me to understand that this man this fulfilled promise is actually God here among us. Recently, thousands of men, women, and families were sitting on the hillside, listening to him teach. Jesus asked me where we could buy bread to feed them all. At once, I thought only of the actual physical cost of such a venture. My art treasury did not hold such funds. I gave no thought to the people's discomfort or to the possibility of a divine miracle. But Jesus took 5 tiny pieces of bread and 2 tiny fish, prayed over them, and broke them into pieces. He fed thousands, and they collected 12 baskets full of leftovers. God here among us. Who would deny the promised one, this divine presence in our midst? And to whom would this person deliver Jesus? To those vain and arrogant priests who refuse to believe that God has kept his promise? Or to the pagan Roman government that fears a rival ruler? Could any one of us forget his power, his compassion? Could I forget?